And we're back to today's feature program of the world's religions. With us, the world-renowned professor, Whitney Whalen, on the subject of Judaism.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have a master's degree from the University of Theological Studies in the city of Atlantis.
That's not even a real college.
Moving on, let's talk a bit about your studies on the religion of Judaism and how it started.
I would love to thank you, what's his name?
Why does Richard always hire the stupid professors?
Judaism has existed since close to the beginning of time.
Oh, really? Please elaborate on your, theory.
You're so dumb.
Why would you say that?
Because it started around 4,000 years ago in the Middle East, based on the teachings of Abraham, nearly since the beginning of early history.
Now, Patrick, she was getting to the part where she would have said the exact same thing as you. Just settle down now. We want to avoid the incident you had with the professor of nuclear fission.
Fine, I'll manage to sit down. For now.
So, who is the man in the clouds? Who is the final authority? Who is the God?
Well, you said it right there, my sad, uninformed host of this godforsaken show. It's God, of course.
Interesting. So, how did the world begin according to their religion?
Well, God said one day that he'd make something to keep all the animals company, so he made Adam from the stardust in the clouds.
Completely wrong.
Well, then why don't you enlighten us, Mr. Co-host?
My sad, uninformed friend who graduated from a non-existent college, what do we pay you for? First off, Adam was created from clay and Eve was created to keep Adam company and help him in his endeavors. Eve was formed from one of Adam's ribs.
No, don't get down about this stuff. Patrick might know a lot about it, but it doesn't mean he understands any of it.
I actually understand all of it.
So, Whitney, tell us more about the way that life works.
Well, I think time is linear.
For once, that's actually right, Winnie. You might not be completely incompetent, just mostly incompetent.
Now, what about the afterlife?
Well, when the Messiah comes back, there will be some idyllic society on Earth where everything's perfect, and then the people that God doesn't like have to suffer in Gehenna for a year. But then they get to go to Gan Eden, which is a paradise.
Yup, that's right.
Now, how did the Jews know that?
It's in the Torah. The Torah basically centers around the idea that you're supposed to live a completely immoral life while on Earth.
A moral life. You're supposed to lead a moral life, not an immoral life.
God, Patrick, chill out. Tell us about the prophets, Whitney.
Well, there's Abraham. He was called by the devil to lead the Jews to hell. There's also Isaac. He was the son of Abraham and the adversary of Judaism. Jacob was the father of 12 daughters who became the leaders of the 12 tribes of Judaism, and Moses was the greatest of all prophets. He sold the Jews into slavery with the Egyptians. Aaron was the sister of Moses. He helped Moses sell the Jews and created priesthood.
That's all wrong, Whitney. Abraham was called by God to lead the Jews to the promised land, Israel. There was also Isaac. He was the son of Abraham and the patriarch of Judaism. Jacob was the father of 12 sons who became the leaders of the 12 tribes of Judaism, and Moses was the greatest of all the prophets. He led the Jews out of slavery, out of Egypt. Aaron was the brother of Moses. He helped Moses lead the Jews out of Egypt, and he also created priesthood.
Well, we're hosting a plethora of holidays that allow little school children to have a heyday and skip school. Tell us more about the reason why these days are so important.
Well, there's the Sabbath day and the sacred occasions of the New Year in the early fall, and Hanukkah, also known as the Festival of Lights. The 9-branch menorah lights the way as a symbol of light and hope of the Jewish nation. There's also Passover, known as Pesach. This is the day that Moses released the final plague on Egypt as the Jews marked their door with sheep's blood.
Have anything to add, Patrick?
Surprisingly, no. I'm sure she got most of that. I feel really bad now.
So, one last question. How many followers of Judaism are there?
There's about 13 million or something. It's kind of a small religion. They're a minority everywhere except Israel.
Good job. That's right.
Well, we're just about out of time. I'd like to thank Professor Whalen for telling us all about Judaism.